I'm Tariq Ali, visiting our new offices in Manhattan, in New York City. It's difficult, when I'm looking at these books, many of which are quite staggering actually, how much we produced and published, of which I personally am very proud. One of our books, which I just saw a minute ago, but it's lost in this sea, was Rigoberta, Menchú. All-time classic, Rigoberta, Menchú. The experiences of a poor peasant Guatemalan woman, recorded by a French interviewer, who brought it to Verso and said, I don't think anyone else will publish it. And Robin Blackburn, then editorial director, published it immediately. And it got its writer the Nobel Prize for Peace. I normally hate that prize, but I was amazed they gave it to her, so I couldn't complain, really. Now, here's a surprising book which no one else would take on, Trampling Out the Vintage. And it's a long book, big book. Mike Davis was very for it, Joanne Lubachevsky was totally for it, lots of other of our, Alexander Coburn. And it was very difficult for us to publish, precisely because of the costs. I mean, its level of detail is amazing. It's even won a prize in book journalism, one of the most thorough books, which when I first read it in manuscript, it was brilliant, but we didn't have the money to publish it. It's quite thick. At that time, we are always skint. We were more skint than ever, so we delayed it. Someone then, a friend and admirer of Frank's, paid the cash. And it's a fantastic book. Mike Davis doing the blurb. Bardacke's account evokes the spirit of Steinbeck, resurrecting the true heroes of La Cosa, the rank-and-file field workers, and reminding us that the grapes of wrath still remain to be harvested for social justice. Classic Mike. Mike Davis's City of Quartz still remains a classic. I remember when in my film producer days we made a short film, and the director, Christopher Spencer, who went out with him, said the guy's very bright when he came back to London, but Tariq, is it difficult to make him talk? Well, Mike changed. It's all I can say, because he talked and talked later on. It's very difficult to think of him as dead, really, because he isn't in a way. His books speak very loudly. Mike persevered, and he never got scared off, one of his many qualities. When I took over as Verso's editorial director, I insisted in Verso's London offices in Maid Street that nothing be thrown away. And one sackful contained rejected manuscripts. So I went through them all and found these gems, which I took out, read, and insisted that we publish them. The first was An Act of State by William F. Pepper, who said that King had been executed by the intelligence agencies. And I said, when I first read the manuscript, I rang up Bill Pepper, and I said, Bill, you're a lawyer. We have to push this through another lawyer. We can't publish it. Basically, you're saying that the state killed him, and the guy who was arrested was a patsy, and that if the patsy had failed, there was a team of snipers from the Defense Intelligence Agency who were ready to get him. Bill said, yeah, well, I stand by that. I said, you may stand by it. But in order for us to stand by it, we need some proof. He said, just find a lawyer you trust, tell him to ring me. We did. Bill just convinced him to let the book go through. He said, I guarantee no one will sue you. That's what happened. We were very nervous. I said, publish. And we published. Large numbers of American readers bought the book. And we've kept reprinting it. This is one of those, books by Perry Anderson, which are widely read, but which make liberals feel very unhappy, because Perry doesn't mince words. And this, I'm really proud to say, is a sort of book which very few people outside Verso New Left Review could have written, both in its language and its level of intellectual engagement with the enemy, so to speak. These are the two pamphlets we produced during, the war on Gaza, the genocide. And both are very good. Didier Fassin's How the World Failed to Stop the Destruction of Gaza, one called Moral Abdication, is particularly good. He writes, language is damaged when demands to stop killing civilians are attacked as anti-Semitic. Last year, when we had a book launch for my latest book, we also marked Verso's anniversary at an event in London. And it was to say to people that there are continuities and discontinuities in Verso which are natural, but that effectively we have not changed our character or become sold out. We haven't sold out. And we won't. Even though times are bad, intelligent, radical publishing will always have a place. The key thing is that we should never give up. Just carry on. And you've put my latest memoirs up here. It's not so much about me as a person, but it's really about the things I participated in over the last 40 years. It's a book written in a period of defeats. And, as I'm ending the book, we're on the verge of another defeat, the destruction of Gaza. And over 100,000 people, women, children in vast numbers, killed by the Israelis. So it wasn't a cheerful book to write. What I liked particularly, if I can boast a bit, was putting on the cover of a paper I edited in 1960s. This was our New Year issue of the Black Dwarf, where we had Mick Jagger, John Lennon, and others writing for us and reading the paper. And in 1970, as the year broke, I had this cover on 1970, Where Will Democracy Strike Next? And you have the list of places where democracy has struck, and it still goes on. And lots of people were amazed that we were. I said, it's not difficult to be prescient because we saw the way things were going. Anyway, it's done, it's finished, I'm glad. This history of vodka, both Robin Blackburn and I were very amused by it when Robin came back. The funny thing is that the main aim of this book was to prove that vodka was first invented in the Soviet Union, or Russia, ancient Russia, and not in Poland. So there's a big fight between vodka historians who are Polish and vodka historians who are Russians as to where this liquor was first invented. And that book was attacked by the Polish press, saying that Verso has completely fallen for the Russian line. Why didn't they? So I said, why don't you produce a book? I'm not saying we'll publish it, but replying to that, which they never did.